Hi, welcome back everyone. Yeah, did everyone had enough to eat? Or still hungry? Huh? Okay, that's good. Um, yeah, there were enough vegetables. Probably a surplus of vegetables in the Netherlands too. And that's probably because we can't export to Russia anymore. The downside is they're also cutting the gas, so we have to eat them raw. But that's the second problem. Hey, Janne is back. We really liked your talk, one of the previous sakes here. So we hope this one is as good as that one. And otherwise, you have to come back again to to prove that you still can have this really high level. Also, someone worked on the Sanoma account, so it's um, it's becoming some kind of cult within Sanoma now. But hey, take it away.
Can I have the slides?
Oh, yeah. There you
Not impressed.
go. It will come. It will come. Yeah, it will come. Don't touch.
Ta-da!
It was prioritized. Really strange.
All right. Hi guys. My name is Janne Sinivirta from Nita Creations. I work as a solution architect for Sanoma customership or Sanoma account 2, whatever you want to call it. I ended up deciding that we'll go with microservices on Sanoma account. So I am a microservices user and I got questions for myself. Bunch of questions that I think I should be able to answer, but I'll just guarantee I'll have too much questions and too few answers. So, what are microservices? There's no clear definition. I would say it's an architectural pattern of splitting a big complex application into a bunch of small independently deployable services. So it's service-oriented architecture. Well, to a point, yes, but so has become a really dirty word. So they had to come up with a new name instead of SOA 2.0. No, to be honest, SOA has a bad reputation, and it ended up typically meaning instead of service architecture, it ended up meaning, well, we just bought a big enterprise service bus and now we chuck all the shit through that. So it's less evil service-oriented architecture. Well, yes, currently there's no IBM products for microservices. There's no Oracle product for microservices, but don't worry, according to Netflix, IBM is one of the few parties that have enough resources to push the microservices agenda like hard. So it won't be long before they crash the party and ruin it for everyone. Other nice thing is that no more WS Death Star. We are using for microservices, typically we use HTTP for the transfer protocol. We use RESTful endpoints, so nothing new, everything pretty much battle tested, and stuff that has been grown from the bottom. Like this is the stuff that was invented by developers trying to make their life easier rather than a big committee trying to agree on stuff. I think about the web services Death Star, it tells enough that one of these WSs is WSI, which means interoperability, and that's like thrice the size of a Bible. And that's only how do you actually use these different WS standards. So hopefully it's a good direction, but I think it's another term that will probably soon be ruined by the big players. Conway's law. This time I don't have the photo comparing share to a dog, but Conway's law says that your architecture will end up looking like the organization it was created in. So if you have 3 themes and you ask for a compiler, you get the 3-phase compiler. This way, microservices offer a great way of kind of not suffering from Conway's law that hard. It's quite easy to separate things, small independent services to be developed by same or different teams. You don't have to suffer from all the overhead that shared code brings with it. So here's a couple of big players doing microservices. There's Amazon, of course. They kind of invented the whole thing, I think. They have the attitude of teams building stuff and the same teams maintaining it, which is quite a contrast to the traditional let's ship it to Accenture for maintenance. Netflix, I think, sorry, greetings Accenture guys. Netflix is responsible of, I think, I'm not really sure, but it's way past 50% of all the internet traffic at the moment. Something, yeah, it's completely ridiculous. And when they said that, well, we don't want to build our own infrastructure, everyone was like, you have to be fucking kidding me. You're planning on doing like crazy amounts of traffic on something you rented from other people. And now, well, as they have been doing it for years now, everybody starts to finally believe that it's possible. And now the arguments have changed that, well, Netflix is a unicorn and nobody else can do that. Actually, one of the lead designers of Netflix team has a Twitter icon of a unicorn just because of that. What might interest Sanoma is the Guardian, which has been on the forefront of using new technologies to solve IT problems in media. I think all in all, you should probably arrange a trip to the Guardian site for all you guys, except like half of you would probably just party in London, but More awkward questions. Yay! I have way more than 20 questions for 20 minutes of presentation, so let's see. Most of these are courtesy of Edo Oshinai, developer advocate at Google, who wrote a blog post on a bunch of awkward questions for people hopping on the microservices bandwagon. But there's a lot of good points that you should be able to answer before or early in the project of using this architecture pattern. So, first question, why isn't this piece of code a library? Why do you want to build a service out of it? What are the heuristics of deciding on that, when to create a library, when to create a deployable service? I don't probably have a right answer, but my gut feeling so far has been to create a library when the code is something generic. So if I want to parse strings or stuff that is not business logic, stuff that is not core to what you do, then creating a reusable library is like what feels natural for me. And for stuff that is like at the core of what you do, then probably it should be an always available service. And there, when your core business changes, you can deploy a new version of that service instead of worrying about 100 different places where the library is deployed to. How do you deploy your microservices? What is the deployable unit? I deploy my microservices by harassing Nordcloud guys. No, but seriously, much of the good things that microservices bring with it, like the separation of concerns and clear cut small programs that the simple guy can comprehend at one look. They rely heavily on high level of automation. So the team has to be capable of not only writing code, but doing proper testing on several different levels, unit testing, browser automations, full end-to-end acceptance tests, and so on, and be able to automate the deployment of your code to production, to staging, to your development environments, and doing this rapidly and frequently, because otherwise, if you're in a situation where deploying your huge fucking software is a pain, then what about deploying 120 of those? Doesn't seem like a good idea. So expect to spend a lot of more effort upfront on building a working walking skeleton, so all the steps being automated. Do you deploy each microservice in isolation or a set that implements some business functionality? We are capable of deploying them independently, much due to the fact that they are usually business logic, not data. But currently, as we're just a single team doing quite focused software, we are doing it on rolling updates, so all services are deployed constantly. That will probably change when things grow. Netflix has the style of when a service grows and matures, they kind of rip off the part that is frequent to change, and then they can deploy stuff that is quite mature less frequently or not at all, and then only do frequent deploys for the fluctuating parts. Are you capable of deploying different instances of the same microservice with different configurations? Yes. Spring Boot has been great for configuration management in a sense that it offers so many ways of overriding your. You can have a simple service with nice defaults built inside the jar file. We only deploy a single jar file per microservice, and it also contains the Tomcat server. But then we can override these with environment variables, with an external server, with all kinds of ways. Ownership. This was definitely one of the kind of core pain points of service-oriented architecture. Everybody, or way too many, thought that it was a technical exercise. We'll just build a bunch of these services and world is saved. And it ended up being like 1/4 technical effort and 3/3 of communication, governance, business initiatives, all kinds of manager stuff, which is not something that most of our nerds are super enthusiastic about. But if nobody finds your services, if nobody trusts your services, if they don't know the service level and so on, nobody will use them. So you'll just have an expensive proof of concept. Yay, we were able to deploy services, but who the fuck cares? So, is it acceptable for another team to take your code, spin up another instance of your microservice? Yes, for the most part they are stateless. We don't really care how many instances there are. Of course, this will eventually be a problem if no like coordination is done there. But as a big part of this is the speed at which we can prototype, so the speed at which we can deploy new functionalities without worrying about big regression problems and so on, I would be hesitant to be really strict upfront of the coordination of you know, versions and so on. Maybe I'll change my mind later on in this project, but can team A use the team B's microservice, or are they only used within rather than between teams? Yep, like I said, they are free to use our code. Whether they ever will, if it's not properly documented and so on, or if there's no reason actually, if we deploy a stable service which auto scales, there's relatively no reason, except maybe who pays the bills of the traffic. But other than that, deploying multitude of versions of the same, it's not it's allowed, but doesn't make much of a sense. Do you have consumer contracts for your microservices? I think it should be, as long as it's internal. Inside Sanoma, I think it should be the service provider's responsibility to communicate that I'm breaking shit now. But with small microservices, there's no reason why you can't leave the old version running there and deploy a new version. So it's not so critical to worry about old systems being unable to use the new version like right away when you want to prototype the new. All right, I have 1 minute and too many questions. Common conventions. Yes, a big point of this small service and a standard way of communicating with it, the REST endpoints, is that you can use your favorite language, your favorite tech stack. It's great for prototyping. It's great for you know, we work with Netherlands and they don't want to write Java, and I certainly don't want to write Python. So it's cool that we can still collaborate. But this is also the reason that Netflix and Amazon enforce the rule that if you build it, you maintain it. Because now if we build a bunch of microservices with 7 different languages and then dump them all to a single guy who has to maintain them, then that doesn't seem like a fair deal. But what do I care? I'm just a consultant. So I have the plan of building a starter kit. So even though we don't enforce that you have to use the same languages, I would love to be for people to easily get up and running. So we would have a sample application with the guidelines of how to automate the deployment, how to run the tests, and so on. So everybody doesn't have to suffer from the early walking skeleton building. Monitoring, it's a challenge. If something breaks, then you have to see if it was this or this or this or this. So there's 2 things you need: active monitoring. We use New Relic for that, and something that combines all the logs of these services. So you have one place where you can actually browse through a single view of it. We use Sumo Logic for that. When is this thing ready for production? It's ready for production when it produces actual customer value and the team trusts it enough to bring it to production. That's my take on it. Somebody on the business side might have a different opinion. As you can see, I'm excited about this architectural pattern, but I'm also realistic. There's plenty of hard questions to answer, and it's definitely not a silver bullet. It requires technical knowledge on a broad stack of stuff, and it will suffer also if there's no domain-driven design or good planning to support it. That's it. I'm only 2 minutes over time. Sorry.
So instead of questions, who has answers for Janne? Matthew?
I have a question. Amazon Lambda, what are your thoughts about that? Is it just rebranding, repackaging, and a bit of marketing, or is it?
There's a lot of new stuff. I haven't really delved deeper into Lambda. I haven't really delved deeper into Docker. I think these are something that are more and more interesting when it's expensive to spin up whole virtual machines for a single jar file, for example. It makes a lot of sense. It brings a peace of mind to have it running alone on that server, but I would be fine with the micro container for it. It brings the same isolation without the extra cost and extra hassle of bringing those up. Also, we use CloudFormation to bring up our environments, and honestly, 7 minutes to bring up 2 nodes and a load balancer is ridiculous when you want to do it like every commit. So I'm eager to see what these lightweight solutions have to offer. All right, thanks guys.